I just bought all this yarn from Goodwill, and there is some really great hidden gems in here, and I thought in this video, why don't we open them up together and look and see what kind of treasures I found. Maybe some of it's good, some of it might just be cheap acrylic yarn, but there is a lot of really cool things. I wasn't even planning on going to Goodwill, but it was just there, and I was like, oh, let me look at the yarn section. And I bought so much for so little, and I think maybe it's worth something. And if you're a crochet and knitter like me, eventually you're going to come up with that, come into the problem of yarn hoarding and have too many yarns, lots of ideas, and not enough time. Well, I just added more to my collection. Don't know what I'm going to make with this stuff, but I'm really excited. And so one of them fell open, and this is kind of the first thing that really drawn me to looking at all the yarn, or at least purchasing it. So this is tweed, and so it's by Rowan, chunky tweed right there. And so tweed is wool, or this is 100% wool. Name brand designers like Chanel uses tweed in their outfits. It's usually pretty, I think it's kind of expensive side. I don't know too much until I bought it. I saw it and I was like, oh, I think that's nice yarn. And so I did a little research. And I know like this hand dyed or hand knitted or hand spooled yarn can be kind of expensive. So this stuff, I tried to look into it. It does say it's 100% wool. I tried to find something similar, and so I guess anything I found similar was about like 15, 16 bucks for it. And so I have this blue one. I have one, and then 2, 3, 4. So this is the first bag I got. See how many bags I have. About 6 things all together. So some of them have all of the tweed yarn, and some of them have a mix. So I kind of, there's some left over, but those seemed more, I don't know, not as interested in the ones that I didn't buy. And of course I walked there, and so I had to carry all this yarn, which the good thing is yarn is very light. I just had a lot of bags, big bulk, walking down the street like a bag lady with my yarn treasures. Okay, so for this blue tweed, right, I have in the first bag I opened up 4 skeins of this blue tweed unrolled, and then I have, okay, so this one, which feels like wool, or feels a little scratchy like wool, not as soft. Like this one has a nice soft feel, and I think that's why like Chanel uses tweed in their jackets. And this one is more of a scratchier wool, and there's a way to test whether or not it's wool or acrylic, because acrylic is plastic and then wool is, it's a natural animal fiber. And so you would want to, you take like a lighter and do a little burn test. And so I might do that a little bit later in this video and see if some of the stuff that's unlabeled, if it is acrylic. Okay, then also in that first bag I opened, I guess I had another one. That one I kind of peeked inside, and then of course it spills over and everything rips out. So I also have this. I don't know, it might be hand dyed. And of course there's a little paper in the middle. So I didn't pull it out yet to see what it is, but it does feel nice and soft. So I'm just gonna just pull this out, and maybe it'll tell me what it is. And okay, then hand painted muddy autumn, so Blue Moon fiber arts. Okay, so this is hand dyed yarn. Hand dyed yarn could cost like 30, 40 bucks for a thing of it. Oh, it is animal fiber. Okay. Inside, it does say animal fiber washing instructions. So with that, yeah, with the wool, the animal fibers, you do want hand wash or dry clean. Do not soak. Do not bleach. Use mild detergent and cool rinse water. Do not wring. So with animal fibers, they could tend to felt and stick together. So I guess if you're wringing, agitating it, the fibers could kind of get muddied and fibers kind of interlock, kind of like felting. If you know anything about felting, it's you're kind of just locking in those fibers together, kind of pushing them. And so with yarn, if you don't want it to tie together, you kind of just want a gentle hand wash or dry queen. And then of course you want to lie it flat. So after you finish your project, if you wash it, you don't want to hang it, because when you hang it, it's going to like pull, everything's going to pull down because gravity pulls things down. And so laying it flat will not stretch out your work. Okay, so lie that, and then of course no sunlight, and do not machine dry. So hand dry, 100% superwash merino. You know, it's a sock weight yarn. Very nice. So just stick this back into this like that, so don't forget. This is very clever to keep this bag. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, so looking inside it, I have more of the tweed, some baby yarn, that's probably acrylic. There's some fuzzy brown yarn. Fuzzy yarn, if you worked with it before, definitely a pain. Don't know if I use it or what I'm going to use it for, but all right. So of course, acrylic, baby yarn, sport. Don't know if I'm going to keep this or make anything with this one. Maybe back to Goodwill with you, or let me know in the comments. Maybe you want that row, and maybe I could work out something. Maybe just charge you shipping. And then of course back to purple chunky tweed. So I got one and at least three. So I got 3 of these. I just love the feel of it. So soft, like, and it matches my shirt. So with these, it goes with the blue, so it can make one big thing. I'm also kind of thinking of maybe like leg warmers or gloves with them. Of course, that's more than enough yarn for that. So maybe if I have any left over. Okay, so I have a total of 4 of the purple in there. And then this one again feels like animal fiber. No tag or anything in here, but it does have that kind of feel to it. So we're going to test this one out later. And then of course this fun one, fuzzy yarn in that bag. All right, so we got 2 already, total of 6. This one's going to be a quick one. Same thing, back to the tweed, just in this green color. Same nice soft feel, same tag, magpie. What's this magpie tweed? Okay, so this is magpie tweed, and this one's chunky tweed, and the purple chunky tweed. So the blue and the purple chunky tweed. This one's called magpie tweed. So I have to look that up and see what is that. Okay, so I just did a quick Google search of what magpie tweed is. It says it has a nubby and tweedy texture. And then it's also 10% silk and 90% wool. So just to feel this, I guess compared to this. Okay, so this, yeah, I can kind of tell a little more silky, but still has kind of like that wool feel to it. This one, the regular tweed, chunky tweed. I mean, it's still soft, but it just has more of like a wool-like texture. And this one's just a little more silky. This one I did find, it did say it's discontinued. So this brand and this yarn discontinued, which of course makes the value go up a lot. So I got this green one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with that. So could make maybe a blanket or shawl with it. Maybe enough for a sweater. Be really nice. Don't know if it goes with the other colors. You got like this maybe purple with the green. Maybe the lighting's a little hard. And we got the blue. So we got the blue, the green, and the purple. Let me know in the comments if you think maybe these three do go together. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I should make something with them separate. Maybe just the blue and the green. I mean, the blue and the purple. Or maybe the blue and the green. And then the purple and the green. This is how they're looking. So that. All right, then. So for this, I'm going to put it back together by twisting it. Back like that. Give it a good twist. Let it kind of twist together somehow. And then I just take this loop. I'm going to take this loop and put it over that. Trying to keep it whatever horrible, but maybe I'll fix it later. But at least it won't tangle the way I put it. All right. 7 of this. Right? Is that what I said? Okay. Next one is this big bag of more chunky tweed. And this looks more black. Let's open it up. And it is definitely like a black or dark gray. So here it is compared to the blue. Right there. And the purple. So these three definitely do go. And the green. Gonna see the green is definitely a lot more brighter than the rest of the colors. So kind of an odd one out. So I don't know if that goes with the rest of these. But the green and the black definitely look like they could go together. Right? Okay, so I got one. Let's see this one. I'll twist that later. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of the black. There. Okay. 2 more bags left. These ones are both mixes, but there is some of the tweed yarn in them. Okay, so let's go with this one, and I'll save that one for last. Okay, so this one, first right off, got a big blob of yellow. This is soft. There's no label or anything. Could probably just be baby yarn. Probably. This one is softer than this one. Probably is acrylic. We're gonna test that out in a moment. But it's definitely nice and softer than this one. But it does kind of have very similar, I guess, look to them. Put those both together. And then, of course, I got another of black. So, and another black. And another purple. All right, so that was that one. Final one. Final one. It has some purple. Maybe hand dyed. And maybe there's something. Nope, nothing in it. So, don't know what this is. But definitely like a thin sock. Feels a little soft. So this pink one, maybe in the middle, I don't know. I think the pink one feels a little bit softer than the purple one. And put those both together. And then this white one feels like acrylic, feels Got some dust in it. It is more of a cream color than a white. There's that. And 2 more purple of the tweed. And then some vintage yarn. So this looks quite old. And it is sport yarn. Color fast, moth proof. Interesting. Machine washable, machine dryable. Washing instructions. This dye lot number. All right, this is Mary Maxim. She's still around. So we got vintage Mary Maxim. Oh, it's Orlan Nantuck, 100%. Let me find out what that is. Okay, so basically it's a type of acrylic that's supposed to feel like wool. So it is also discontinued. And I got 2 of these. And that is it for the yarn. And then I just have one little tool thing that I also found. And it is this little like spool knitter, which is basically French knitting. Modern day has as a French knitter. There's like little plastic ones you could buy. And so this is like original form of it with little nails. So I guess back in the olden days, if you wanted to do this French knitting style, it's just a little, it's like a thread spool, little nails, and then of course a hook and some little yarn. I'm gonna do a separate video on French knitting, and so subscribe to see that video and not compare maybe the old-fashioned one to the new one. There's also a little hand spinner, and it has a little history. I'll open this, read this in that video coming up soon. And then also I think in my next video we're gonna do a little Grinch guy. So if you crochet, basically as long as you know how to do single crochet, he's very easy to make. Just need like a little green yarn, a little red yarn if you want a scarf, and just some stuffing. You can steal that out of your pillow if you want. So just make this little green guy. Of course, he's the Grinch because Christmas is coming up. When I made this video, you can watch it anytime our season. Okay, so here is my full yarn haul here. First test we're going to do is called the break test. And so you're just basically going to break the yarn apart. So acrylic yarn, synthetic fibers are harder to break apart. I've got some red yarn. I've got some red heart right here, and I know that it is definitely acrylic. And so it just doesn't easily break apart. I probably really rip it and break it. But, so along with this one, since I know this is actual wool here, it does break and come apart more easier. So just like that, pull that kind of, no, it doesn't really come apart too well. Just kind of like that. And then the wool, take it, and it kind of just easily comes apart. And you get the fibers just pulling apart. Okay, so that's one method. I'm gonna try that with this white. I'm not gonna try all of the wool ones since they're properly labeled, but let's try this white. Take that, and no, it doesn't pull apart easy. It's kind of really similar to the red. It's probably an old vintage red heart yarn. Okay, so that one, and then of course now I got this blue one. So take that. Okay, well if I pull it hard, it comes apart. So this could be some kind of blend. So it's black wool. Or black woolish feel. It might be a acrylic as well. It doesn't easily come apart. I mean, eventually if I pull hard enough, and depending on the thickness of the yarn, I could pull it off. The next test, I'm going to do a bleach test. So first I'm just going to cut a nice strip, maybe this long. We'll put part of it in bleach and see how it dissolves, and then leave part of it out to compare. So I'm just going to take a nice little cut of each one. So I'm going to do this blue ball, the black ball, since these two are unlabeled, And we're gonna go for the purple. This is purple, I don't know, purple unlabeled ball. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit of a... Okay, so I just took a dish, poured some undiluted bleach, and I'm just gonna soak the yarn partially in, partially out, so we kind of know what it looked like before and what it looks like after. Just kind of just get the yarn covered in there, and then we're gonna just wait 24 hours and see how it is. So let's just clack swipe. Okay, so it's been a few minutes now, and so you can see this green, the green tweed is starting to dissolve, and then my other tweed starting to bubble and dissolve, and then the other ones, no changes. All right, so we're gonna come back a little bit. Okay, so here we are back again. And so the wool one completely dissolved. So this is that green tweed, that one. Yeah, what was in the bleach is dissolved. That white mystery white one, yeah, I think it's just a basic, probably even might be red heart or something, basic white. And then there was that mystery blue one, hasn't dissolved either. And that was that baby pink yarn, I think it's this one. It's like a blue and pink. That one did not dissolve. And the Mary Maxim, of course, did not. And then that yellow without the label is there. And this wool. There was that dark blue tweed dissolved. That purple hand-dyed mystery yarn also dissolved what was in there. And my control is that red heart green, did not. That other hand-dyed spool, that one mostly dissolved too. So I'll put a little bit more of that in here and see what happens. So most of the yarn I got, well, the wool that's labeled is actual wool. And then my little spools of hand-dyed yarn is also wool. Okay, so the final method that I'm going to test today is playing with fire. Okay, so when working with fire, you do want to do safety first. So I just got a glass plate, a little water here just in case. And so then I just cut the yarn because I don't want it on the ball, just in case it doesn't catch flame, especially because I don't know what kind of yarns. Some of these, for my controlled piece, I got that green red heart yarn. And so I'm just going to burn the end just a bit. And of course, that caught on fire. So just stick it out on the plate. And so acrylic yarn is made out of plastic. And so plastic melts. And so if this just feels kind of hard when it burns, that is definitely acrylic. And so let's see if the same thing with the white yarn. That. Give it a little burn. Watch your fingers too. And so that did the same thing, basically. Same little plastic edge there. So see them both. Got both plastic, burnt tips. So these are both acrylics. Okay, and so I got that mystery blue and that mystery black yarn, which they didn't really dissolve in the bleach as you saw. So they're probably acrylic as well. So watch your fingers. So basically just there. I'm gonna do the fire. I'll also use a candle. Okay, so that melted just like the acrylic yarns. It's just a little different in fiber quality, but it is acrylic, I'm pretty sure. So there they are, just have that hard plastic edge. Let's move on to something that I definitely know is wool, and that is that tweed. So this is the chunky tweed. Just a little there. And so with that, be careful when touching it because it was just on fire. And so this is more ashy. So there's a little bit more of ash to it and not that kind of melted plastic that we got with the acrylic yarn. So that is definitely wool. Well, I knew by the label. And so this one was a wool with a little bit of silk blend. That green tweed. So there, we're just gonna go like that. And then it has that ashiness to it, that kind of flaky ash. Okay, and then onto that mystery blue, right? We'll see if it's more plasticky or more an ash, kind of like animal fur burnt hair. It kind of turns to ash and not hard plastic. So just burn that one. Okay. That's why it's careful. So I put it on the glass plate so it caught on fire, kind of blew it out like a birthday candle. So you want to watch out for that. And it's probably a blend, maybe acrylic and wool blend, because it does have some ash and some plastic feel to it. Okay, so this was that ball of purple, the mystery one. It's hand spun, so it's probably hand dyed. So give it a little fire. There, it's burnt. And then it comes off as ashy and not as the hard plastic. So there's a little ash there. And then I also have that pink one, the merino. And so that one, we're gonna give that a little test. Just careful with a little fire. It cools so fast. And then it is the ashy too. So that one is an animal fiber by the Mary Maxim. Yep. And that one is also definitely an acrylic. Okay, so for my conclusion, so these two are not acrylic, and then these two have at least some. They could be a blend because they did have a little bit of the ash and the plastic, so they might be a blend, but they're definitely not full wool, full animal fibers. But they do have like some of the hard plastic feel to them. And then this one definitely is acrylic. And then of course the ones that were labeled, I didn't test them all, but true to the label. Okay, so I hope you liked this video, and if you do, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what yarn finds you find at your Goodwill, your thrift store, wherever. And maybe if you want some of this yarn, let me know in the comments. All right, thanks. Bye.